Hey everyone, and welcome back to Embodied Divinity. Take a deep breath and settle into this space as we sink into the here and now, allowing ourselves to simply be in the magic of this present moment, allowing whatever is meant to be, and knowing that that too is perfect. Today, I want to dive into something that's been on my heart, a truth we all experience on this journey, but one we don't always talk about. It's the heartbreak of letting go of what no longer serves us, the sadness in saying goodbye to people, dreams, parts of ourselves we've outgrown. There's this deep sorrow in it. The familiar is comfortable, and sometimes, even when it doesn't nourish our soul anymore, we cling to it because it's safe. But growth asks us to let go, to trust that by releasing what isn't aligned, we make space for the things that are. And I think it's important to honor the ache that comes with it. It doesn't mean you're not strong or that you're doing something wrong. It means you're human, navigating the messy, beautiful process of growth and this human experience. It's a kind of heartbreak, but it's also an act of love for yourself and for the life you truly desire. So today I want you to sit with me in this space where we talk about the power of letting go, the bittersweet beauty in it, and how holding steady in your true desires, even when it feels lonely, is the greatest act of self-love. So I have a little poem, if you will, that I would like to read before we dive into this topic. So just take a deep breath and allow the words to penetrate your soul and see what resonates with you. There's an unspoken sorrow in the act of letting go. It's not always loud or dramatic. Often it's a quiet ache, a whispered goodbye to the parts of life that once held meaning, the people, places, patterns that felt like home, but now no longer reflect the person you are becoming. Sometimes the hardest part isn't knowing they don't serve you anymore. It's accepting that they once did. Once they filled a need, answered a longing, fit perfectly in the spaces you were trying to heal. But growth has a way of shifting the ground beneath your feet. What once fit snugly against your soul now feels foreign, and you find yourself standing at the crossroads of comfort and change. This is the heartbreak of transformation, the shedding of skins that no longer fit, the painful release of identities and dreams that were never meant to journey with you into this next chapter. You realize that to honor the wholeness of who you are now, you must loosen your grip on who you used to be. And that in itself is a form of grief. But this is also where courage lives. It's in the brave decision to let go, to release the people who can't walk beside you anymore, the habits that kept you small, the dreams that once lit up your path, but now feel like echoes of a life you've outgrown. You honor their place in your story, their time, their purpose, the role they played in your becoming. Yet you also honor yourself more. You honor the desires that pulse deep in your chest, the ones that call you to expand, to grow, to become, the desires that cannot be fulfilled by anything less than what truly aligns with the vastness of your spirit. You no longer settle for what is convenient or comfortable, for you know now that comfort can be a cage. So yes, it breaks your heart to say goodbye. It feels like a loss, and in many ways it is. But it's also the kind of loss that makes space. Space for the life, the love, the abundance that is meant for you. You hold steady in your worth, even when the loneliness seeps in, even when the road feels long and uncertain, because you know something deeper now. That true fulfillment doesn't come from clinging to what no longer fits, but from trusting that by letting go, you create space for something greater to catch you, something aligned, something whole. So you breathe through the heartbreak. You trust the process, the timing, the divine unfolding. You let yourself grieve the endings, but you do not lose faith in the beauty of what is yet to come. And in that, you discover that holding steady in your desires is not an act of waiting. It is an act of becoming. Let's all just take a deep breath and settle into that knowing. Through this last transit, so many of us saw so many parts of ourselves, of our relationships, our patterns, our habits that simply don't align with the highest version of ourselves, the version of ourselves we deserve to experience. What I've learned about this process of letting go, this shedding of all that doesn't serve you, it requires deep trust. Trust in yourself, trust in the universe, trust in the unfolding of your life. Because it's not just about what you're leaving behind, it's about making space for what's ahead. And let's be real for a moment, holding steady in what you truly desire, that part of your journey, that can feel lonely as hell. There's this quiet period where you've let go of what no longer serves you, but you long for what hasn't arrived yet. It's like standing on the edge of something beautiful, knowing it's coming, but not seeing it yet. And that space in between, it can break your heart. But here's the thing, in that space, you're building something powerful. You're showing the universe, and more importantly, yourself, that you will not settle. You will not lower your standards or dim your light just because the waiting feels hard. You're holding steady in your worth. You're saying, I deserve the kind of love, the kind of life, the kind of joy that can hold all of me. And yes, it takes time. Sometimes it feels like you've been waiting forever for what you truly desire, but it's in that waiting, you're not stagnant, you are becoming. You're evolving into the person who can receive what you're asking for. You're growing into the fullness of who you are so that when love, opportunity, the next step arrives, you're ready. You can hold it because you've held yourself through this process. Today, I invite you to sit in that space, to honor the letting go, even when it breaks your heart a little, to trust that the ache is a sign of growth, and to believe with every fiber of your being that what you desire is on its way, not because you're lacking, but because you're making space for something so aligned with the truth of who you are. Let it go with grace. Hold steady in your desires and trust that the life that is meant for you will meet you there. You are worthy of all you desire, and it's becoming, even in the spaces where it feels like nothing is happening. And I know this to be true. You've heard so many stories about my letting go process, and even just recently, I've talked so much about this beautiful love that I was letting in and cultivating. A dear friend who I had known for a long, long time. And it felt so comfortable, so easy as we got to know each other again. But there was something within me that just knew that this didn't serve the version of me that I was becoming, the version of me that I deserved to grow into, and the kind of love and future that I truly desired. And there were so many beautiful things about this connection, and so many beautiful things about the love that we held, the love that I was able to receive, that I tried for a minute to convince myself that I could mold myself into the person I needed to be to fit into this old pattern. But my body said no, my spirit said absolutely not. And one day I found myself uttering the words, I can't do this. And I let go of him and also the version of me that was willing to settle for a life that didn't align with my highest good and highest vision because it was comfortable and familiar and seemingly safe. But it wasn't the kind of safety that I longed for, the kind of protection, the holding, the love, the connection, the alignment that I knew I deserved in my highest version of me. And so I let go and I grieved. And now I'm sitting in this space, feeling really empowered and really honoring my decision to be able to break an old pattern, to say no what didn't serve me, even though there was nothing crazy wrong with it. There was no big dramatic thing. It was a knowing within my heart that this isn't meant for me. And I'm standing in full faith that the kind of love, the kind of life, the kind of grace that I desire, the abundance, the opportunity, the magic is on its way for me. I've made space for that. I've sat in the space of the void, of the becoming. And I get to welcome in the one that truly serves me. Breathe into the desires of my own heart. We get to do this with relationships, with jobs, with careers, with friendships, with family members, with habits, with patterns, and most importantly, with versions of ourselves. Even with my business, there were so many years when I thought it had to look a certain way to welcome in abundance. I had to do certain things. I was stuck down in the niche it down myth. And over the last 5 years, when I've allowed myself to evolve and try new things and open new containers and new means for abundance to flow to me, not only has it never been so easy and grace-filled and fun, but I've welcomed in abundance with such ease because the things that I do are in alignment with my highest good. I wasn't afraid to grieve old versions of me, to grieve old ways of doing things, to grieve old patterns that left me stuck, even to grieve the parts of me that listened to people when I knew that it wasn't in alignment. I opened up to those versions of me. I looked them in the eye. I let myself hear the truth. I loved them fully. And as I allowed them to just be, they dissolved and alchemized into a greater version of me. We all have the opportunity in any moment, in any time, to let go of the things that do not serve us and create space for the new. And I know that it hurts, that it's scary, that the void can sometimes feel so incredibly uncomfortable. But as we stand there, allowing those uncomfortable sensations to simply be, not trying to change them, not trying to move them, not trying to escape them, but really allow them to be, they process through us and create such a transformation that we become a version of ourselves we never even dreamed. In this realm, not even the sky is the limit. We are infinite beings of consciousness. And anything is possible as we choose ourselves and walk forward in trust and faith for all that we are and all that we are becoming. I know this to be true more than anything else. It's the way that I live my life. And it's the way that I watch my clients transform as they let go, as they allow themselves to evolve and awaken to new opportunities and ways of being. The only thing here in this human experience that is permanent is impermanence. We are ever evolving, ever changing, and it's in that stagnation that we create a cage around our soul. It's when we take a risk and do the damn thing and trust the knowing in our being that we create the greatest change and that we affirm that deep devotion and love to self. And it is my hope that as you move through this cycle, whatever may be stirring within you, whatever you may be called to let go, as you listen to these words, as you let this move through your system, that you can give yourself grace, but you can also take a risk on you. That you can know that you are fully loved and supported, and that as you choose yourself, you can trust whatever occurs after in the letting go. That you can breathe into the uncomfortability of the void. That you can allow yourself to create vibrations where there was once stagnation. That you can let go of the ways of the world, of yourself, that are not in alignment with who you know yourself to be. Listening to the quiet whispers of your soul, standing in awe of all that is created and opening your arms wide for everything that is coming to you and all that you are becoming. I love you. I see you there, walking this journey in full strength and faith and grace and resilience. And I see your dreams coming true, even bigger than you ever imagined. And I know that as you step into this faith and this belief, this will all be true for you. I love you guys. On a Friday, there will be a beautiful guided meditation for you to release the old versions and ways of being and welcome in the new. I love you so much. As always, breathe deep and plan on miracles. See you next time.